what is blockchain to you? I would love Andy to start this out for us. Andy?
I guess that's a rather tough question though. But to me, blockchain, I do see it as a technology, as a more sophisticated way to gather all your data, put them into different boxes, different blocks, and so forth. I think that's blockchain. Of course, in a more theory or in a more standard answer, we look at blockchain in terms of its capability, for example, tracking, tracing, so forth and so on. I guess that in the most simpler words is blockchain. But in my world, I think it's just an enhanced database, and an enhanced database that is able to solve some of the teething problems and enhance things like security, and then give everyone a level playing field in terms of getting the currency element into this whole blockchain space. Yeah.
So, well said. Thank you so much for that, Andy. Jenny, could you also give us a take on that, please?
Like what is blockchain? You can definitely Google that or Baidu that on the internet. So I will not repeat that part. I think blockchain is a wealth redistribution. I've seen like many young people get into this industry, and they get to know this knowledge faster than any other people. So they get rich like really quick. So, and that is also, I bet that is also the reason why a lot of people been attracted to blockchain, to Bitcoin. So I would say like this industry is still in its very early and baby stage. So there are still like a lot of opportunities so I strongly encourage like young people get into this industry, because like bankers of Davy or Dr. JD, like you guys are like, you already got a status in the society and you already have the wealth. So maybe it doesn't mean like a lot to you guys, but for the young people, I guess it might be the only chance they have to change or to level up their life.
Okay, that's well said. Thank you so much for that. Dr. JD, would you have anything to add, please?
Well, I look at blockchain always from a very practical point of view, in the same way that I look at every technology, new or old technology. And blockchain has a lot of opportunities. And the most important thing I see in blockchain is that it puts the encryption of information in the information. All other technology is encryption on top of information. That is a wonderful aspect of blockchain. But I also look at the applications of blockchain. And there I have to be very honest, I'm shocked about the waste. I'm shocked about that we use 7.2 million CPUs per second for a currency. And that it is a cryptocurrency is fantastic, and that is away from all the conventional banking systems is fantastic, but that does not change that just Bitcoin uses already more electricity than countries like, for example, Argentina. And when we add all the cryptocurrencies and blockchain platforms, the pilots, the test, and the actual platforms together, we accumulate the energy consumption of Germany and France. And not separate, no, combined. So two major European industrial countries, that is the energy consumption of all those blockchain and cryptocurrency platforms combined. That's something that I cannot put together as a value in a world where we have 1/3 of the population not having proper sanitation, not having proper energy, not having proper food, not knowing how to pay the bills tomorrow, etc. That's my mental problem with blockchain. The technology itself, I love every second of it. Keep it coming. Just keep going, but make it better, make it much, much better.
Okay, well put, well put. That brings us to the next question. I would like your opinion on what do you believe personally are the main benefits of using blockchain technology? Dr. JD.
Oh, thank you. So I come from the banking and finance. There's a lot of pain points in the banking and finance today, but I can talk a lot about the application and practical elements of blockchain. But today, if you look at it, we have global economy now. All the countries are interconnected, right? And what happens when you have global economy and global interconnectivity? You need payment. You need payment to go from one country to another country in super fast time. And today, we have SWIFT system, which has been built for many, many decades already, right? And I think blockchain will be revolutionary in making payments cross-border, right? I think that is a major application of blockchain and the benefit of blockchain. The other thing is, with globalization and global economy, you have trade finance. And trade finance involves a lot of papers flowing around the world, right? You have your shipping document, you have letter of credit, you have bill payments. So I think with blockchain, it can bring a lot of value to globalization of the economy, and it will speed up and make it much more efficient in terms of payment flow. Thank you.
May I add some statistics to what Davy just told us? And that's very, very important to understand. 100% of all financial transactions include at least 4 partners. So 4 institutions minimum using the same information. If we bring that in one layer of information, we have an improvement of 75%. That's fantastic. When we look at cross-border transactions, that amount of partners simply is multiplied by a factor 5. So one cross-border payment includes at least 20 parties, because tax officers, you have to inform so many people. If we bring that in one data set, we have an enormous improvement. And then the next thing is the bureaucracy around it, all the paperwork, as Davy mentioned so well. If we bring that in one single data source, think of all the paper and the time and everything that we save. So there are the wonderful parts. And one thing, as a cybersecurity person, I cannot stress enough, the proper blockchain platform does that with encryption as part of the information.
Okay.
And that is and Davy is from the financial market. We have a lot of guests from the financial market. In the financial market, the security of the information is a decision maker or breaker. Right, Davy?
Mm.
Exactly right. Exactly. Spot on.
These inputs are just brilliant. Thank you so much. Andy, could you also give a say on that?
In terms of, I think in terms of the application for blockchain, I think we have heard so many of it, whether you are in the capital market or whether we are talking about payment, whether, we are talking about what Dr. JD has mentioned about, combining the data sets together, so forth and so on. I think all these things are great, but what do we really see? What do we really see in reality? Are there really people using it in that form? Is combining all the payment onto one source the best way to do it? I'm not sure, because that could also bring a fair bit of security issues. That will also bring a fair bit of a pipeline issue in terms of how big the whole pipe is, for this blockchain. But all these things are not the most important. I think the usage of it is the most important. Like Davy mentioned about payment, I think those are things that are really straightforward. We have to pay for things every day, right? So payment would be a very easy way to let us know what is blockchain. The other thing that we often talk about nowadays is NFTs. NFTs is also another simpler way to introduce traditional people what blockchain can really do. I think going back to the point is we need to see more utility. We need to see more usage. That portion got to be improved a lot. Again, not only payment, but I would hope to see real good implementation, perhaps in the supply chain space, in the medtech space, in the AI space and so forth. Because nowadays, people talk about blockchain still. Of course, we're talking about beyond the hype, right? But right now, it's still kind of in a hyping stage, but of course, in a much improved manner as compared to 2017. So I hope to see more utility, more usage. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Andy, for that input. Before we move to our third question, I love how the discussion is going, how the answers are blending into the next. What are the key challenges in the way we adopt blockchain technology, or what are the difficulties you think we're going to face in its adoption? Davy, please, could you start that with us?
Okay, it's very simple. If I look at it, look at the amount of money capital was raised for fintech. And you talk about, we want to see more use cases, right? And in order to generate the use cases, we have to see the investment flow into that particular use case. If we look at fintech for the last decade, billions of dollars has been deployed in innovation, in developing new product, in developing new business model. So similarly, what has to happen is that a lot of capital has to flow into the blockchain development side. Today, if you look at the comparison between how much investment has gone to blockchain development versus how much investment dollar has gone to fintech, you see that huge difference, right? So we have to build the gap, bringing more capital into the blockchain development world. There's not enough sufficient capital flowing there. So I think that is one of the obstacle, speed bump to blockchain use cases. Thank you.
Thank you so
and if
much.
I can add more, and it's something that we want to collaborate as a fund manager, right? In Singapore, we are a friendly country to blockchain. And as a fund manager, we can set up fund structure to raise capital to invest in blockchain. And that's something I want to add, right? Singapore is very conducive and encourages people like myself as a private equity fund manager to raise capital to deploy in blockchain. I can talk a lot more later, but I will pass the mic to somebody else. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for your input, Davy. Jenny, could you please share some further light on it as well?
Like I just mentioned now, blockchain is very early stage. So the infrastructure, the technology, like everything is not quite there yet. So we see a lot of like problems like happening in the technology side. We see like big exchanges got hacked all the time, and we see like a lot of scam project in the DeFi sector. And just yesterday, there's a new mine, liquidity mine, opened on Heco chain. And if you put in your coins in that mine, like immediately you lose 99% of your coin, your asset. So which is really scary. So there's not much like infrastructure, like almost like everything is on Ethereum. Now things like getting a little bit better now, but still like infrastructure is not yet, regulations not there yet. Like a blockchain project or a company is like normally very global. They got people all over the world. Like if they scam people, you don't even know like how to sue them. Like the CEO could be in US and the CFO maybe in like Panama. Like so so we are still like trying to like get those things ready. It will take time. So for many people, it's a very good opportunity, and for many people, it looks very scammy. I think that is the biggest problem and what is holding us back.
Well said, Yanni. Very well said.
Thank you.
Okay,
and
Davy,
if I can add on to what Jenny has mentioned, sorry.
Okay, Davy, go ahead. Davy, go ahead.
Yeah, if I can add on what Jenny has mentioned as well, a lot of blockchain entrepreneurs don't like regulation. But actually, without regulation, it becomes impediment to blockchain. So if we can layer some level of regulation as what to avoid the kind of mishap that Jenny has articulated, then blockchain can blossom a lot more. So I think entrepreneurs should not be fearful of regulation. We should work together with regulators and make it happen. And I can assure you, things will happen a lot faster. We should not avoid regulation. We should embrace regulation accordingly. So like I say, Singapore is a great country that encourages blockchain. I encourage all of you to come and visit Singapore one day. Thank you.
I just want to add quickly on Davy's point as well. You know, I've been known to be pro-government on blockchain and crypto matters rather early in this industry. But I think a few corrections or a few of my own thoughts here is that one, I don't think we have a lack in capital per se in the blockchain space. We know many people around us, you know, especially around my side, you know, we have gained a lot of trust. We have gained a lot of capital input, you know, just in this industry. I think capital is something that is very subjective. You know, if all along you are swimming with all your friends with good capital, you know, you can go to blockchain, you can go to another industry, the money will still come together with you, because, you know, many of us will go with the hype, you know, go with the whole flow, right? So I think money portion is not a main problem. I think regulation could be a big issue, but again, we know all these things. You know, whether you're in the banking space or you're in the capital space or you're in any of this industry that is up and rising, you know, there's always some kind of a gray area or some kind of time period, you know, where things are not so cast in stone. You know, that is also a period where innovation is going to strive a lot harder. But of course, you know, innovation comes with a price. You know, innovation doesn't mean that we do not follow any regulations or we want to go against the law. We have to be above board so that the whole blockchain industry can shine. We have to also try our best, you know, through private equity or venture fund, you know, like or through Davy, you know, to provide the right kind of funding to the right kind of project so that the project can grow. And coming back to the point, you know, the first question was, you know, what's stopping the growth? I think Jenny's remark is the most candid. I think the human being, you know, around this industry are the main problem, because many of us, if you are on Twitter, I think most of us are on, except for Davy, I guess. Everyone is shilling coins, and doing that is totally wrong. You know, is totally wrong. It's not done in the fashionable way. It is illegal, so forth and so on. We have to remove the speculative mindset. We have to, you know, try to be more realistic, you know, when we talk about when we talk about blockchain, because blockchain and cryptocurrency are actually two very separate things. You know, value and price manipulation or price hike is also a very different thing. But what we are trying to do in the bigger picture is actually innovation. You know, innovation, blockchain, cryptocurrency is something that we will see in the future. And I hope people should be a bit more sensible, you know, because it's not always about price. It's not always about 100x and so forth. It's about the innovation. It's about the technology. You know, Bitcoin can be 70,000 or 100,000 in the next week. But what's the true value of it, right? So I guess we have to make sure that, you know, we protect the value, we protect the innovation, and that's where money can come in nicely. You know, better projects can be implemented, and again, you know, people, you know, we got to change the mindset. So sessions like this are very important to educate, to tell people what's the truth, and tell people what's going on. Thank you.
Wonderful input there. Wonderful input there. Nana, do you have something to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to add up with regards to the regulation. I think it will help curb the number of blockchain and crypto projects we have. Because the last time I checked, we have about over 4,000 crypto projects, even as of 2021. And I want to ask, how will people take the blockchain and crypto industry serious if everyone can easily come in and bump in with their own token? Like, come in, bump in with their own token, do some pump, and then dump it, and that's all. And I think that is going to undermine the credibility of the entire blockchain industry. So that's something that I wanted to add.
That's a good input. Thank you so much. I think we can close this question with our final from Dr. JD, then we'll move on to the next question. Dr. JD, do you have anything else to add?
Well, the only thing I want to add is that we have to keep in mind that blockchain is software, and cryptocurrencies, which are mainly based on blockchain, are therefore software. And there can be issues with it. You can issue malicious component. We had that several times already, where hackers were able to introduce malicious updates into the distribution channel. What is man or women made can be men or women disturbed. So we should first of all stop those stories about it is unhackable or it is the greatest thing that ever happened. It is software. And the second thing, as Andy pointed out, it is about innovation. It's about changing things. So let's move away from the narrative that when Elon Musk farts in the microphone, Bitcoin goes up 20% and then Tesla, that's all irrelevant. That is the usual wealth collection by those who already have it. And the Jennies of this world have no benefit from that whatsoever. And the Jennies of this world, but also myself, have benefits from innovation. What if we can make a well-protected, well-designed technology platform so accepted that my doctor has access to the scan they did 12 years ago in the hospital when he's now researching something that is happening with me? What if we can achieve that? And what if we can achieve that Jenny has access to the information a researcher had posted around at the other side of the world, but the researcher still wants to know who is accessing my information, because the researcher wants to have the sources and wants to have the quotes and wants to keep developing. What if we create that? Let's focus on that part. And cryptocurrency, to be very honest, I couldn't care less about who makes what amount of money there. I'm just concerned about the impact on our environment.